Let's flow. Let's connect and flow. Welcome back to Soul Awakening podcast series, Quantum Age of Awakening and the Consciousness in Science. Welcome in. All right. So here we go. I want to thank you for showing up. I want to thank you for being part of the listening, for being part of you opening your heart and your mind to new ways of understanding who you truly are. Thank you for taking that leap of faith for you. All right. So, completion is an important energetic moment for everyone, not just for some, for everyone. When we complete a cycle consciously and aware, we integrate what we've learned rather than leaving it as just pure information. Integrating it means actually living it. Not living it trying to get it right, but just living it, just being. So as we begin today, I want to invite you to notice that simply being aware means something to you. What it means to you. What simply being aware means to you. And then if you realize that, then you'll know that you've already shifted. Awareness has already expanded within you and all around you. Over the past several weeks, we've explored much of the nature of energy and the power of observation and vibration of thought and emotion. We've explored the unity of all things and the influence of intention, even the intention in healing and transformation, not just trying for the law of attraction and being intentional with what you think, but also about intentional on how you view your body, how you listen to your body, how you transform. Not how someone else wants you to transform, but how you transform. I know for me, I'm always, or I used to always, and I am still working on this, asking what other people think. Well, what do you think about this? Instead of going, well, I really like this for me. And just go ahead and try it out. If they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. I guarantee you, folks are going to let you know. Some folks will actually let you know simply because they think as soon as they let you know, you have to change your direction of what you're doing for you. If it's not for your highest and greatest good, you don't have to change. If you believe, if you stay focused in your inner connection with you, your intuitive self, you'll know if it's flowing for you. You know if it's going to grow you. You can feel it, right? So I invite you as we begin to invite you to notice that simply being aware means something in you has already shifted. Awareness has already expanded. All right. Each idea shows us that we are more than just our physical being. We've gotten to that point where we kind of understand, take what you wish and put whatever labels you wish to put on it, but that we are a spiritual being, whether you call it soul or spirit, whether you call it, your divine you or your intuitive you. The label is up to you, but you know that your intuitive self or your soul self or your spirit self is having a journey in this body, your body. And not only are you conscious of having this journey, now you're aware of it as well, right? So over the past several weeks, again, I say we've explored the nature of energy. We've explored the vibration of thought and emotion. We've explored the unity of all things being wholeness. We've explored the influence of intention, your influence of intention on your healing and transformation. Each idea, once again, I repeat, has shown us that we are more than physical beings. Together, these ideas form a new, what you might want to call, worldview. For me, it's a new worldview. I'm not seeing everything the way other people see it. Yes, I'm still viewing situations and circumstances in the world, but maybe I'm just beaten to a different beat in that view. You know how people say a beat to the different a beat of a different drummer. Maybe I'm just hearing a different tune, and it's okay with me. Maybe I want to flow a different way, and it's okay with me. Doesn't mean that the world isn't presenting a certain way that most people are looking at, and maybe most people are fearing, but it just means that it's okay for me to be, march to a different drummer. Maybe I might be possibly saying that kind of the wrong way, twisting the words, right? Not a belief system. It's we blend everything together so that we get a new worldview, not necessarily a new belief system that you have to accept, but a way of perceiving reality that is more inclusive, maybe, that is more compassionate, possibly, that is more alive. You get to choose. You do. You get to choose. That's what feelings are all about. That's what free will choice is all about. If it feels good to you, keep going with the flow. If you have to constantly run it by others, then maybe it's not for you. If you feel that you have a need to run it by others, and then they give you, they keep putting it down, and you keep starting over, maybe you need to figure out where the focus point is, what keeps showing up that keeps making you go to ask other people, and you keep getting shut down. Maybe it's the fact that you keep asking other people instead of going, I'm just going to do it. Let's see what shows up. Right? Okay. We understand ourselves as we now, after, 5 episodes, I hope you would understand yourself as energy, as consciousness. The more we understand ourselves as energy and consciousness, the more we are responsible for our shifting. We're no longer passive observers in life or in our life. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. For me, that was a big burden lifted. Instead of me blaming others and others not changing, I got to put myself in a position of taking responsibility for being the creator of my story and saying in my story, oh, well, I chose this. This did not happen how I thought it was. I'm not going to spend a lot of time in the woe is me stage. I'll put it that way. I'm going to acknowledge that it didn't feel good. I'm going to acknowledge that I didn't like it. I'm going to acknowledge that I need to make a different choice. Right? I'm now acknowledging I am not a passive observer in my life. I'm proactive in it. And proactive means that I'm not reactive. I'm I'm looking at it, I'm observing it, and the moment a particle gets observed, it becomes what you're observe what and who, by whom the energy is being observed. It's operating in that energy category. And I have to take responsibility on the energy. I'm producing it, right? Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. So today we're going to bring all of that, episode 1 through 5, all of that all together and look towards the future. Why look towards the future? Is because we've been told that's where we need to focus. So the very first thing that you need to know is your future is a now. Your past is a now moment. Your future is a now moment. It's not way out there, though it could be if you choose for it to be, right? So we're going to look at it, what it means to be, or what it means to live as an awakened being in what I would like to call the quantum age of awareness. The quantum age is not just about advanced technology or scientific knowledge or scientific breakthroughs. It's about a shift in perspective, perspective or perception. It's about realizing how we think, feel, and perceive reality and how it matters. That it's not just personality or personal, but it is also collective. That what we put out is we're shaping the wholeness of all that is and all that is not. We're part of that. This inward turn is not a retreat from science. As I've learned through these episodes of sharing with you what I've learned, I've gotten even more layers answered for me. And science has not been my enemy. I used to think it was, because either I had to believe in science or I had to believe in God. I couldn't believe in both, coming from a Baptist background in the 60s, in the 70s, right? So let's begin with this thought. For centuries, humanity has looked outside itself for answers. We've searched the stars, we've explored the oceans, we've studied matter down to its smallest particle. But now, science and spirituality are both guiding us inward towards consciousness within ourselves, towards the consciousness itself. We're beginning to realize that the most powerful force in the universe isn't something out there, it's something within us. Welcome, peace and love. Yes. CEO of Cash says, I love science. And she says, I love the divine. I know that I would love to put the comments on the screen, but I tried and it doesn't let me. Let me see if I double click one. Show on stream. Hold on, maybe I can do that. There we go. Hey, and CEO of Cash, Olivia Buer at CEO of Cash taught me click a button, see what it does, right? So that's right. Try it. Now let's see what we can do here if we click again. Alert. I tried it. Okay. So we're beginning to realize that the most powerful force in the universe isn't something out there, it's something within us. Okay. The inward turn is that it's not that we retreat from science, it's that through science and through spirituality, we are learning about our evolution. Modern physics shows us that the observer is never separate from what's observed. Spirituality shows us that all is and all is not. The is not manifests what is. The unknown manifests what's known. We just have to do the deep dive, right? Consciousness is not an afterthought. It's not an afterthought of the universe. Scientists are starting to figure out just what some spiritualists already know is that it appears to be woven into the very structure of the universe. Right? Quantum physics tells us that the universe is made of energy. We've learned that in the last 5 episodes, right? That it's not just made of energy or energy fields, it's infinite, it's dynamic, and it's interconnected. Spiritual wisdom tells us that consciousness gives meaning and direction to those fields. Scientists just may not call it Almighty God. They might not call it the Creator. But they know that there's more. Right? So together, we reveal that, or it's being revealed to us, that the universe is not random. It's very intelligent, it's very creative, and it's very responsive. This is my cheer squad. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It does not mean, at least scientists don't, not all scientists, but some scientists doesn't think it means that the universe bends to our ego or our personal desire. It means that reality responds to coherence and awareness and alignment. They're understanding this. Wherever coherence, awareness, and alignment fall for you. Remember, it doesn't have to fall in perfect sync with you or with someone else. You don't have to look at someone else and look at their life and think that they've got it all going on. It's in If you look at their life in one straight line, it looks like it's hunky dory. But behind closed doors, it could be so totally different. You have to decide what your coherence is. You have to decide what your awareness is. You have to decide what your alignment is. When more consciousness, or when consciousness becomes more ordered, it's believed, some scientists believe this, some spiritualists believe this as well, or what they believe is more compassionate, more aware. The field it interacts with reflects that order. But it also can reflect the order of chaos, being distressed, being upset, being mad, being being what some people might say, oh, that's an evil person. Well, that's an evil person based on their description of what evil is. And if they keep thinking about that person being that way, then the universe says what? I always say, your wish is my command. Let it be so. The universe is constantly and continuously looking and listening to you because it's here to do your bidding, so to speak. Right? Okay. So, what does this mean for our evolution? The evolution of our body, our mind, and our soul being. For me, what I learned, that it means that we're learning to live with awareness. I'm learning not only to be that I'm conscious, because I've always been conscious of the fact that I was born and I'm going to die. But now I'm aware that in between the born and the dying, I can create how I live. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. It means we're learning to live with awareness. Right? It means that we are making conscious choices to align with who we really are. It means understanding that the energy that we send out, what? Did you finish that? The energy that we send out each day comes back to us. Yeah, but let's add one more thing. I know some people don't like to hear the but. But if we add this one more thing, that what we send out each day contributes to the collective field of humanity, how much more responsible do you want to be sending it out? For me, it was like, oh, because that's for me, it's like, that's my service to all. Because in service to all, I am serving myself because I am the all. Blew me away. Right? And it means realizing that each and every act of kindness, I use these as my examples because this is what I'm trying to be more of, kindness and compassionate and understanding matters more than will ever imagine. Today I went out and I hung out with my two oldest children, right? And they're in their 40s, but they're about, helping their mom. And I've been having, or the energy of uncomfortableness has been moving through my right hip. So they made sure they took care of me. They brought the wheelchair. It's the family wheelchair, as they say it, to make me feel a little bit better. And of course, I took some turmeric and whatnot, and I also took an ibuprofen because I knew I was going to be moving around. And we went and walked in the a neighborhood and shops of Long Beach, nearest the beach, right? And they brought the wheelchair, and they said, well, my son, my oldest son, said, I'm gonna push your mom, no problem. And then I also allowed myself to use the wheelchair to walk so that I could stretch that hip, right? But it's utilizing that energy that's not only part of me but part of them, and they together, we connected in consciousness, in that energy collided with itself to make a monumentous moment even more glorious, right? Because I didn't struggle against the, using the wheelchair, or I didn't struggle against using the cane. I started enjoying myself. I know that I know that I know that I know that healing is moving through my body, that my cells are reproducing. And I just surrendered to the consciousness and awareness of energy that is part of the conscious of the whole. And then I found that I was smiling a lot more, and people were smiling back at me saying, hello, how are you? That whole kind of thing, right? And actually having more than a hi. They would have a conversation, you know. So let's see. Okay. I lost my place. I got it again. Whew. Human, the human part of me. It means realizing that each and every act of kindness, compassion, and understanding matters more than we ever imagined, right? In the quantum age, small actions are no longer small. A single regulated nervous system influences or can influence others. A single compassionate choice can alter a relational or a relational field, right? Wherever you're stepping, if you're stepping towards something in compassion, you're taking that compassion with you, and your compassion is opening up another part of a field that you're generating from, right? A single conscious breath can interrupt cycles of reaction that have existed for generations. That blew me away. When I read that, I actually connected with that. That in 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 a moment that you're having some kind of discord, or you feel that discord is about to erupt, you can take the breath. You can take that moment to take the breath and take the pause. in your breath and your pause might shift you. And when it shifts you in that moment that it might shift someone else. Right? Exactly. Pause. Let me show you this. The pause. The pause. I love that. Okay. In this new age of consciousness, it isn't about escaping the physical world. It isn't about spiritual bypassing. We are a spiritual being with a human vessel that has a conscious and aware mind. Now, all of us may not be tuned in, tapped into it yet, but we have the opportunity to get there. Right? So it's not about escaping the physical world, it's about integrating energy and awareness into how we live, how we work, how we relate with others. It's also about knowing science and that science and spirituality are two sides of the same truth. They're just expressing it differently. We are participants in the universe, but we're not separate from it. Olivia is correct. The pause carries a lot of weight. When you take that pause, when you take that breath, it carries a lot of weight. Okay? Integration is the key. It's the key word, integration. Right here and now, that's a very powerful word because if we don't take what we learn and actually put it into use in our everyday lives, what's the sense of having the knowledge? If the books behind me don't get read, what's the sense of having them take up that space? If the picture behind me doesn't get looked at every once in a while, what was the sense of me manifesting this picture, not creating it, but manifesting it to say, oh, I like that. This is what I went to find a picture. And this is what manifested. And I said, this is it. And now I've got it hanging up. But I am aware of it because I look at it often. Right? Hold on a second. I don't know why that did that. I don't know if you saw it, but I saw it. So, integration is the key word. Awakening is not about leaving the human experience behind. It's not about spiritual bypassing. I know everybody's come into their awakening and now they just want to go find out where the soul came from, where the soul's been, what the soul was doing 100 million years ago, and all of this. But we're also supposed to live in this now moment. It's about bringing all that knowledge, all that awareness into our now moment, into the present. Paying attention to how we speak. Paying attention to how we listen, paying attention to how we respond when life brings us a challenge. Are we giving or allowing ourselves to have a egoic moment? And then are we allowing ourselves to grow and expand from that egoic moment? I know everybody says, well, I got to let my ego do what I got to let it do. But how long do you let it do it? I know with me, I can't let my ego take over the show. I know for me, my higher being, the higher being that came into this body for this experience deserves to have the experience. The egoic self is just energy that protected me until my higher self came online. And now all the knowledge that I'm taking in, all the knowledge that my higher self is leading me to, even my ego is leading me to more wisdom and understanding. It might not understand it, but it's leading me there. So I have to have allow my higher self to have the recall, and I have to allow my egoic self to learn its lessons, right? I have to have my egoic self learn how to integrate, learn how to experience being part of the that spirit realm that I came from in earth form. Paying attention to how I speak, paying attention to how I listen, paying attention to, when life, brings challenges, because the challenges didn't come willy-nilly. They came because I wanted something. Maybe they came because I didn't know how to ask for it properly. Maybe it came because I didn't know how to define what type of relationship I wanted, what type of work environment I wanted. So that circumstance and that situation and that challenge showed up because I created it a certain way, not knowing what I was creating. But I'm fully aware of it now, that I have to be responsible for it so it can change. Because once I get out of poor little me mode, and yeah, I had to get out of poor little me mode, it meant that I was conscious of it, the poor little me, and now I'm aware that I can move it and change it from what I'm learning. Whether I'm learning it based in science, or whether I'm learning it based in spirituality, or whether I'm learning it based in both. For me, this helped me understand what I didn't understand when I was younger. Okay. Okay. A lot of our life's challenges, we either do the we either respond, right, automatically respond, and we respond with the wrong energy, and it just makes it worse. Or some of us can go to that meditative mode where we take a breath. So right now, let's take a moment to reflect on what you've discovered about yourself during this journey, during the last 5 episodes of what we've been learning. What have you discovered about yourself during this journey? So here are some questions that I know and I'm constantly asking myself these. Do I notice my thoughts more clearly? Do I respond differently to stress and emotion? Do I sense deeper connection to myself and others? I know in all three of these, my answer is yes. I've noticed my thoughts for a while, but now I'm noticing them. I'm aware of them, and I'm aware of what I can do about them from a different vantage point. And yes, I respond differently to stress. I allow myself to have a cry moment or get to that point where I feel like I'm going to cry, and I just let my body feel it. And I allow myself to have an emotion about it, because this is the only way that my egoic self is going to learn that it can go to a different level, because now I get to sense a deeper connection with myself. And I'm going to tell you, the perfect person, if she's still in the room, helps me, because I always say I'm channeling that energy of her, because she's allowed me to have my moments of, and then she says, okay, now push the button and see what you can do. When I'm learning all these new street avenues of the internet, of YouTube, of my Instagram, of moving from my YouTube to my Spotify, and moving stuff and creating backgrounds and tabs with music and whatnot. She just says, just like she said right here, she says, just push the button. But first, my ego goes, and I allow my ego to have that moment. But I don't allow my ego to be dramatic anymore. Instead, I allow my ego to have a good moment that's a cry within, and then a breath, right? And this to say that awareness doesn't have to be dramatic. Awareness isn't going to arrive dramatically. Quite often, it shows up very quietly. It shows up in the pauses. It shows up in choice. It shows up in a gentler self talk. And then you find that these are subtle shifts that are signs to real transformation. Think about it. How can you use this understanding in your everyday life? When challenges arise, you can respond from awareness instead of reaction. When emotions feel heavy, you can shift your energy with an intention and through your presence, just by bringing yourself back to your now and saying, what do I really intend? What is this trying to show me? Instead of going all the way back to um, um, being a victim, going back to being in victim mode, right? When challenges arise, you can respond one of two ways. You can be aware of it and say, what is this trying to show me? Or you can be in reaction mode. Why me? How come me? Why are they picking on me? Why don't they just leave me alone? When emotions feel heavy, you can shift your energy through intention and or presence. When the world feels divided, you can remember that we're all entangled. Everyone is going through something. We do feel that like we're the only ones going through it because our ego says, okay, I got to tell you something, but you're not alone in it. It's just another person may not be sharing because they think they're alone in it, right? When the world feels divided, you can remember that we're all entangled, all connected within the same field of life, the same quantum field. We're all vibrating in it. This doesn't mean that you ignore your pain. This doesn't mean that you ignore your difficulty. It means you get the choice to meet it differently. It means you can become less reactive and more responsive. Take what resonates, if you so choose, right? It means that you can be less fragmented and more whole. Awareness instead of reaction. So, as we move forward in this new era of understanding, humanity is slowly awakening to its true potential. Now, some of us as human beings may complain about the others that aren't awakening as quickly as we did when we think we did it really quickly, when we can't remember the fact that we did struggle when we were starting to awaken. We hold other people to a different accountability than we hold to ourselves when we were going through that. Yeah. So, as we move through this new era of understanding, humanity is slowly awakening to its true potential. Quantum science is opening doors that we never thought were possible. Hint, AI. AI is only going to be what you create it to be. The only way that it gets a soul is if you show it yours. I'm sorry. Okay? AI is energy saying to you, how may I serve you? Right? Quantum energy is opening doors we never thought possible, from healing and conscious studies to technology that one day mirrors the intelligence of life itself. It just mirrors it. It doesn't take it over. But even as we move forward, and we're always going to move forward, that's part of our growth and our expansion, evolution. The greatest evolution will always be within us. Within us. Right? Technology may change the world, but consciousness changes how we use it. You want to hear that again? Technology may change the world, but consciousness changes how we use it. Without awareness, and the advancements can't amplify. Let's put it this way: without awareness, advances can amplify fear and separation. Without awareness, if we're not aware, and we're just in reaction mode, then we're always going to be having fear, and if that fear get more amplified, and then the more fear we have, the more separation we have. With awareness, the same tool that supported healing, connection, and understanding helps us expand from fear into wholeness, into excitement. Right? I want you to understand you are a vital part. You are a vital part of awareness. You are a vital part of awakening. Every time you bring more awareness into your thoughts, into your world, into your actions, you're helping raise and rise with your vibration into the human field, the human quantum field within you. We're all connected. You become a bridge between science and spirit, between energy and matter. You, me, blew my mind. I'm a bridge, blew my mind. I understand that. I get that. I'm a bridge between the seen and the unseen. Delicious, right? No, this is not symbolic language. Fields influence fields. Nervous system entrained. Consciousness is contagious. Your patience matters. Your presence, or your patience in presence, matters more than you've ever been taught, to believe. Your presence matters, and you being patient with yourself in your presence, of your presence, and for your presence matters. Here's something to remember as we close, okay? Awakening doesn't happen all at once. I'm still awakening. I'm still having droplets of knowledge trickle down into me, or well up in me. Still learning something new. I'm not going to say sometimes it's not scary, but it has been less fearful and more scary. And then I can deep dive and go, okay, now I know a little bit more, because that scary in the unknown has revealed itself to me. Doesn't mean that there isn't going to be more. There's going to be more. There's always going to be more. Right? Here's something else to remember. It's a gentle unfolding. It's a journey of remembering who you are, from soul, interconnectedness to body. It chose your body. It chose it for a reason. You don't like your body? Talk to your higher being and say, why did you choose me? What am I supposed to learn with this body? Right? A journey of remembering who you are, one moment of awareness at a time, not one moment of consciousness at a time, but awareness at a time. You don't need to force it or rush it. Just keep learning. Keep noticing. Keep choosing to align with what you choose to love, or what you call love, what you call clarity, what you call peace. Awakening is not about becoming someone new. It's about remembering what always was beneath the conditioning, beneath the fear, and beneath the habit. You were already there. And when you go beneath that, you're stepping into a version of you that now gets to have a moment and a journey. If you'd like to continue your exploration or exploration, I get excited. I really do. After this particular series, I'm going to suggest a few books that can help you or help support your growth. Okay. The Conscious Universe by Dean Radin, Radin. The Field by Lynn McTaggart. And Synchronicity, The Bridge Between Matter and Mind by F. Period, David Peat, Peat. Each one of these books explains an idea that we have discussed here and offers a deeper understanding. A deeper understanding. It's just going from one point to another. And then you find out, well, I thought it ended, but now I need another book. Now the divine is giving me another deep dive to do, because there's more. The moment you made the unknown known, then there's some more unknown that needs to be found out. That's growth, that's evolution, that's progress. Right? Before we end, take a breath with me. The next breath, you can hold it as long as you like. Take one more. You're breathing in consciousness. You're breathing in awareness. We call it, scientists call it air. You were taught that it's air. For me, I understand that I'm breathing in the consciousness of all that is and that is not. I'm breathing in the quantum energy of the divine and calling it air. When you breathe, feel the energy moving through your body. You're observing it. You know that energy always is there. You know that you're constantly breathing. You don't have to remind yourself that you have to breathe at night. Remember to breathe at night. No, But now you're aware. That's what happens when the yogis tell you to, cross your legs and sit in the lotus position and hold your fingers up and take a deep breath. You're being aware of your breath. You're being aware of that particle that is your breath. And the particle stops being a wave and it starts being what you're observing it to be. So feel the energy move through your body. Feel your heartbeat. Feel your breath. Feel the stillness between each moment. That's life energy. That's consciousness. That's you. You're the observer. You're the creator. You're the participant in this vast, beautiful universe. It could not do it without you. So take another breath in. Stay here for just a moment. No fixing, no seeking, just awareness. Hmm. Not coffee. It's water. I just couldn't find my water canister. But even if it was coffee, it would be my thing. Everybody finished with that moment? I want to thank you for joining Soul Awakening podcast series. It has been an honor to walk on this journey with you in episode 6, to explore the mysteries of energy, consciousness, and growth, to connect with community. Forgive me. There was a sneeze that wanted to come out, and sometimes my cough absorbs it. Really odd. But I'm aware of it. So may you continue to awaken, expand, and live each day with awareness, compassion, and purpose. Right? I'll see you next week for episode 7, Chakras, Energy, and the Outer Field. It's a quantum perspective. So until then, I want you to stay in your light. I want you to stay in your truth. I would love for you to remember who you are as energy and as awareness. And I would love for you to never stop separating yourself from the universe. That created you. Now, all these things I would love, but I can't do them for you. You have to have the intention for yourself to do that. Right? So, one love, wholeness and balanced love to you. Until we meet again for part 7. Peace and love unconditionally.